2 years ago, I was sitting at my desk in my boring office job, scrolling through Facebook on my phone, trying not to fall asleep. Now, all my friends know, if there's a mini pig dressed in rain boots or a pygmy goat jumping around in pajamas, it needs to be shared with me stat. I can spend hours on YouTube watching videos of puppies that can barely stay awake and dogs that just don't want to take a bath. Don't even get me started on sloths. From a very young age, I have felt a kindred connection to animals, especially dogs. They are innocent, loving, don't talk back, come when I call, and are always happy to see me. They don't judge or care what I look like or how much money I make. When I come home, they don't question where I've been. They just happily wag their tail. On this particular day, I came to an abrupt halt as I came upon a picture shared by the good people of Positively Texas Rescue Group. A brown and white female pit bull was staring out at me. She had been picked up in Longview, Texas, because a man kept calling animal control and complaining that she was coming into his yard. Perhaps this was because she was a pit bull, and there are so many misconceptions about the breed. Perhaps he was just an asshole. She was around 9 months old, almost full grown, and weighed a startling 20 pounds. I could see every rib in her frail body. All the bones in her hips jutted out at painful angles. She had bites all over from being exposed to the elements for so long. Her face was sunken in. They had named her Kate. Her sweet, soulful eyes jumped off of my cell phone screen and right into my heart. The shelter was looking for someone to foster her. I wanted to be this person. My 9 to 5 gave me no sense of purpose or gratification. I wanted to do something that would make a difference. My fiancé, Tommy, also worked at the same office. I ran to his cubicle, clutching my phone, and pleaded my case. I showed him the pictures and assured him we would just foster her. Hesitantly, and with mild irritation, he replied, "If you want to, but we can't keep her." Like a lot of people, Tommy was apprehensive about bringing a pit bull into our home. We already had 3 small dogs and a cat squished into our 2-bedroom apartment. I knew it wasn't the ideal situation, but insisted. "We can keep her in the guest room, separated from all the other dogs." He reiterated, "We can't keep her. Will you be okay with this?" I said, "Yes," already knowing that was a lie. I contacted the shelter, but because of her health concerns, only a rescue group could pull her out, not an individual. I reached out to a fantastic group that has helped me place strays I've taken in several times. Without hesitation, they granted me permission to foster under their group. I was now going to officially be able to bring Kate home and start her on the road to recovery. I felt excited to work with her, nurse her back to health, and help her acclimate to people and other animals. It never occurred to me that she could be aggressive, bite me, or even worse. I've always operated under the assumption that all animals are loving. I am one of those people that would end up on Animal Planet's Fatal Attraction because there's just no way my pet lion would ever harm me. The day we went to pick her up, a nice girl met us halfway in Canton with Kate in tow. While the pictures had been shocking, they did not prepare me for how fragile she really was. I was afraid to hold her in case I accidentally hurt her. I felt both heartbroken and flooded with anger. How could anyone do this to another living creature? How had someone not helped her sooner? It should never have got to this point. She was covered in fleas and was devoid of energy, but those eyes looked right into me. I felt an immediate connection with her. I laid her on a blanket in the back seat of my car. I sat in the front seat, my body contorted, to hold her paw and stroke her head the whole way back. I picked fleas off of her as they crawled across her skin and kept reassuring her she was safe now. She never fussed, never whined, never shied away from me. Even though the shelter had been feeding her, I knew she must be starving. So I gave her a few French fries we'd picked up at a drive-thru. She very tenderly took them and quietly ate them. I decided it was best to stop after a few to avoid her getting sick, and she was totally fine with this. It's hard for me not to get aggro if I'm in the car with someone that won't share their fries. But she just laid back down, thankful for what she had been given. I was touched that after all she had been through on the streets, the fights with other dogs, people neglecting her and shooing her away instead of graciously feeding her, she was appreciative and trusting. We immediately took her to the rescue group to pick up supplies we would need. We'd had her less than 4 hours, and I was already asking the founder how it works if we decided to keep her. Tommy gave me a look that I pretended not to notice. The next few weeks, Tommy and I carefully bathed her tiny frame, fed her special food to increase her stomach size, bought her toys, and eventually introduced her to our other dogs. Kate loved them. The 3 of them were not on board at first. But eventually, Kate piled onto the couch with us every night while we watched TV. I did my part in putting the word out about adoption. For a while, even a married couple we're friends with had planned to adopt her, but it didn't work out because of her allergies. Thank you, Kate, for having allergies. She continued to live with us and became more and more a part of our family. Tommy and I had talks all the time about whether or not we should keep her. Maybe it was the way she would rest her head on his lap while he sat in his chair playing video games, or how she gently pawed him when she didn't want him to stop petting her. Eventually, she broke him, and he agreed there was no way we were letting her go. I think it was those eyes. We have had Kate for 2 years now. She is a healthy 45 pounds and wants to be best friends with every living creature on the planet. She has never been aggressive in any way. I was so excited to take care of Kate and have her depend on me, but she takes care of me too. If I'm having a bad day, she's right there beside me to give kisses and cuddles. If we need some exercise, she's always at the ready for a nice long walk. She makes me smile and laugh with her still puppy-like playfulness. People tend to carry negative life experiences around, letting them weigh us down and turn us bitter and jaded. We think that forgiving others will make us weak and hold grudges instead of learning to trust again. We allow our past to prevent us from being happy in our present and let it convince us there's no hope for the future. I have been this person. Kate helps me to be a better person. Despite everything she went through, Kate is the most loving, loyal, sweetest creature I have ever known. She reminds me every day to be grateful for what I have. I set out to rescue her, but she is the one who rescued me.